Are you working on your author career but struggling to get that first book published? Does the goal of being an author seem too lofty? Or thoughts of having multiple books and making a full-time living are as fantastical as living in Cinderella's castle? Welcome to Discovered Wordsmiths, a podcast where aspiring authors can be heard. Join Stephen Schneider as he finds and talks to authors you may not know, but authors that have gotten their foot on the author career path. Hear what they've done to get there and where they want to go now. Settle back. It's time for a bit of inspiration and advice. Come listen to today's Discovered Wordsmith.
All right, so welcome back, Carmel, to the Discovered Wordsmith podcast. I have some questions after talking to you about your business life, your entrepreneurship. You mentioned like 500,000 things that you do. And I love that because I also have been doing some talks with parents, telling them basically, hey, the workforce that you grew up with is not what your kids are going to have. And you kind of have already embraced that. You don't just do comedy. You don't just write a book. You've got comedy and you've written a book and you have a blog and a podcast and you do all these multiple things. Was that a very conscious thing that you said, I want to do this to earn money and make a living? Or was it, I kind of fell into it? Have you always wanted to do that? Give me a little insight in that because I'm very intrigued.
The reason why that I do all the things I do is not because of money. I mean, it's because it's a passion, and I enjoy doing the things that I do. Um, you know, um, so how I fell into it is because I love the entertainment world. Anything about entertainment is a lot for me. It just excites me and makes me feel good. Like I just love making people laugh. I love, talking to people about, situations. I love writing about situations. I like to be creative about things that I do. It's just a passion for me. The money, yeah, okay, it's great, but it's not about that. It's about just seeing the spark in people's eye or making someone, even if it's not a lot of people, at least one person can smile that day.
Right. Okay. So with that thought, if you had made your book, came out and people said, it's okay, and nobody bought it, would you still be working on a second book?
I would. Nothing's gonna stop my motivation. I'm a motivator and I'm a go getter. And everybody's not gonna like what you do. And that's life. So everybody's not gonna like what I do, but as long as I enjoy what I do, that's all that matters to me. And if you like it, come along with me. Let's go. Let's hold hands and skip along the line, down the way. But other than that, I'm gonna continue doing what I do and continue writing and continue, influencing and motivating and inspiring. Just because people say, I don't like it, that's okay. That's okay because you get no's a lot of times. You can get a lot of no's before yeses.
Got right. You probably have not had a great night on stage every single night. You've probably not had every great post you make on the blog reviewed well with people.
Right.
It's part of the game.
It is part of the game. You're not going to please everybody because somebody's going to find something wrong. Okay. So, so being on stage and, people laughing or people not laughing or people or saying just looking at you like you're crazy, it doesn't matter. At least you took that time to show them what you have at that time. You might have been off key a little bit or written something that wasn't the best writing that you've done and they don't like it. But that's okay because you're gonna get rejections regardless. But you have to learn how to accept them and keep moving and don't let it bring you down. Just keep motivating.
So with your book, let's focus a little bit on that. What were some things that you learned writing this first book? And is there anything you're doing different with the second one?
Well, I learned that you have to be in quietness. But sometimes you get um writer's block, and when I was writing this first book, I was like, I had to stop and think, like, okay, what am I writing? And then it started flowing. But, I learned that I have to be very patient when I write because I get so excited when I write and I kind of, miss a little things that I supposed to catch and I didn't. And luckily that I went to the publisher and he caught it. But sometimes you have to slow down and write and have that moment of peace and sanity. Get alone by yourself and just write. Don't be around a lot of people. Don't have people coming in and out, because you need to focus on what you're writing about so it can come off in a good note, so everybody can, so that was my mistake. I was around my daughter was around me, and other things was going on when I was writing, but I had to, tune them out. But at the same time, I had to find where, because I was making a little bit of mistakes, and then when they caught it, I was like, good, at least y'all caught it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what editors are for.
Yeah.
So when you're writing, what's your process like? What software or services do you use?
I use Word, Microsoft Word. Um, I love that, and because it's easier for me, I'm not, computer savage. So I like to go down, something that's easy. So yeah, Word, Microsoft Word is what I use.
Okay. And now that the book's out, how are you marketing it? What are you doing to get the word out, get people to find your book and read it?
I'm a social media. I social media everything. I'm an expert. Like, I'm always promoting. Like, you would never not see me promote. I promote, and promote. I actually put the movie, when I did the feature film, I actually took it to a theater so people can come and watch it, so they
Nice.
can buy the book. And then I did like a book release. And then I did, some characters, and I had people go and talk to the characters. And so I did a lot. So I try to promote the best way I can. Now I have a publicist that's helping me promote my book, and Mickey is so awesome. He's getting me on platforms to promote the book even more, and I'm just super super happy about him, because he's helping me push, because I can't do it by myself. And that's one thing you have to learn: you cannot do it by yourself. You need help. If you think you can do everything by yourself, you are totally wrong, because if you have that extra help, then you can go somewhere.
So I'm assuming when you say you're promoting all the time that that includes your stand up and
Yeah.
your podcast. So this all kind of ties in together. Hey, I've got a podcast and I wrote a book, and you promote here and you're talking. So in a way, it's almost the Carmel Lucas brand. You're the thing people are buying across different areas of entertainment.
Right. And true, because I want to brand Cameron Lucas, and I'm branding her by doing my podcast, doing my creative writing, doing my stand up comedy, doing my speaking. And so that's what I'm branding. It's myself, and every time I promote, I'm promoting my different things that I do. Okay, today I'm promoting the website. Today I'm promoting the podcast. Today I'm promoting my creative writing. Today I'm promoting my poet. So yeah, it's basically a brand. I am that brand.
All right, and so we were going to talk a bit about publishers, and you have a publisher. You used Authorhouse. Um, Step me through a little bit. What was your thoughts in that? Did you want to do that originally? Did you try other publishers? Did you think of self-publishing? Where was your thoughts to make the choice? I'm going to go with these guys and pick them.
Well, at first I was going to do self-publishing for myself. I was going to do it all by myself, but then I was like, no, because I might mess up in the middle of it, because um, I don't really know about publishing. So I went to a couple of sites, and I looked around, and I was reading their bios and their websites and stuff like that, and I'm like, and I tried one publisher company. I don't want to say this name because I don't want to bash anybody, but I tried that publishing company, and it didn't work for me, because I feel like a publishing company is supposed to be for your needs, what you like, what you want to do with your own book, and I felt like they was trying to go in a different direction that I wanted to go to. And I'm like, no, this is my book. How are you going to tell me what to do with my book?
Right.
And so I went to Authorhouse, and I talked to this lady there, and she was great. She had great customer service, great personality, great everything. And everybody that I talked to there was so great with me. And they was like, whatever you want, you tell us what you want to do. And that made me feel good. It made me like, okay, this is the publishing company that I want. So Authorhouse, and they called me up, make sure I was okay, make sure that the book was okay, make sure that I was on the right track of what I need to do. And they just guide me through everything that I possibly needed. And I'm like, this is awesome. I love these people. And it was like, it wasn't like a business. It was like a friendship. And that what got me, because I was like, okay, these are the great people. Let me go with them.
Great. And are you going to work with them for the next book too, I
Oh
assume?
yes, most definitely. I have to. Why not? They treated me so well before, so I know they're gonna treat me well this time. And they still contact me, make sure that I'm okay. And that's good. And I forgot to tell you, I know we're talking about the book, but I also have a fragrance out that I made for myself. So I'm just letting you know that too.
Well, next you're going to be having a dog breed or something, right?
No, no, no. I just love keeping busy. I just love keeping busy, doing different things, experiencing stuff. You have to experience life. You only live once, right?
Right, exactly. See, now you were talking about looking for me, I didn't really toss around the idea of looking for an agent or a publisher. I just wanted self-publishing. I like, maybe it's my ego or something, but I like that control. I like being able to know exactly what's going on. Plus, I think for me, I know an author who had a book trilogy, and halfway through the second book that he was told, hey, the first book isn't selling, so we're going to end it after the second book. And he had to suddenly wrap everything up in the second book. And then it got released. And he wasn't super happy about it, but it is what it is, because he's basically, has to do what they tell him. And then both books started selling, and they said, hey, let's do that third book. And he was kind of like, I just, ruined everything.
Right.
And the funny thing is, now I think it's on book 11. So it's done very well. And I didn't want that, someone telling me you've got to get this next book out or not. Or, well, we're not going to sell these books, but you can't use the characters for anything else. I like the ability to have that control and make the decisions. So with your relationship, how much control do you have, and how much do you retain that you could, make the books or not the books and the characters and things like that?
I have 100% control. They don't tell me. That's one thing about Out the House. They don't tell me what I can and cannot do. If I want to use the same characters, they're fine with that. If I want to do something different, they're fine with that. So they don't. They don't, tell me what I should or shouldn't do. They're completely what I want, what I want, and that's what I like, because I heard that some publishers are like that. You better get this out before this or that. No, they say, take your time. We're here for you. And whenever you're ready for the next one, let's go. And I'm like, cool. So it's amazing, because, a lot of people been through horror stories when it comes to publishing, and luckily, I'm knock on wood that I've been blessed that I didn't go through that. It was a smooth ride for me, and I'm super happy about that, you know?
Nice. And that's the important part. You're not stressed about it. And it sounds like it's fairly successful. Are they doing some of the marketing? Or are you doing all of it? How's that work?
They did some of the marketing and I did some of the marketing. We worked together. They did what they can that I couldn't reach, and I did what I could that I can reach. So they helped me out a lot, and they still are. Like I said, they still call me and tell me, we did this and we did that, and like I said, they're real good, and they're like, so whenever you're ready, we're here for you. I have my own personal person that I go to, and I call them up and talk to them about, my next step. And they work with me, and they was like, whenever so they're really, really good people. And, you know, Author House is, to me, everybody experience different things when they go to different publishing companies, but with me, it was great. To others, it may not be, but to me, it was wonderful.
Nice. Well, then, that's the most important part. Would you consider maybe something in the future, publishing it on your own, or even looking for a different publisher? Or are you like, nope, I'm happy here. I'm not going to change anything?
Nope, I'm happy here. I'm not going to change anything. I really like them. I really me self publishing. I don't know how it will go, but I think like they have done good, so I don't think I should go anywhere until they do something different and they tell me something different. Then I will decide then. But right now, I'm stuck.
Yeah, got it. Okay. And are you getting your books like overseas in different countries and things like
Yes.
that too?
Yes, it's so amazing though. It's so amazing when you can go online and you can see that your book has been over here and been over there, you know? And this is like fulfilling. You're like, yeah, that's right. My book is overseas, you know?
Right.
So it's amazing. And a couple people have written to me and said that they love the book from overseas. And then I'm like, wow, this is great, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just an amazing feeling, the accomplishments that you made when you write a book. It's like, wow, I wrote that and people really reading that. The world is reading that. And it feels so good, you know?
I agree. And one of the interesting things that I've seen is I don't sell tons all around overseas, but I do fairly regularly every month sell a couple copies in Australia. And I found because they have had a hard time having print books, just because it's an island and there's been no real presses there and everything's imported and they cost a lot. So when ebooks came out, everybody loved it. And without doing anything, I almost always sell a couple books in Australia
That's
every month.
good. Yeah, that's awesome because ebooks is really convenient for a lot of people, and that's the way to go. But yeah, that's awesome. But when you go online and you see that your book is here and there, that's amazing, gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And does Authorhouse push or help with anything with translations, or are they looking to do audiobooks with your book or anything like that?
Actually, I have this lady. She did an auto book for me, and she's working on it, and so once that's out, but no, they haven't done an auto book for me. No, they haven't. But they did translate it into a different language. Um, so they did it in Spanish.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, but that's it. But other than that, no, they really didn't get into details in that.
Okay. And have you even thought of recording the audio for your book yourself?
I thought about it. I thought about it, but then I was like, do I have the voice for it? You know? Um,
Now, I know it's a romance. It's got a little erotic in it. Does it have some comedy or anything? Is it lighthearted,
oh
humorous
yeah,
at times?
it has comedy in it. I mean, I have
Okay,
to
I
have
was
some
going to say
comedy in it.
had to.
Yeah, it has to have comedy in it. I'm funny. Come on. So, it has comedy, it's funny, it's suspense, it's like all over the place. And that's why I say that your emotions will go up and down, laugh, cry, be mad, be upset, be suspicious, be like, who's doing this, who's doing that. So it's like that book that your emotions would be all over the place, and so
Uh, ha- did you put any of your comedy from on stage into the book?
actually I did not do that,
Oh,
which I thinking about doing in my second book, because I feel like stand up comedy, you know, will bring out the book a little bit. Just let them know, just a little couple jokes in there, but I did with the first one. I did a couple jokes that you can laugh at and stuff like that, but I didn't really get in deep down details of stand up comedy, but I think in this book I'm gonna throw a little bit more comedy into it, but a lot of romance with a little bit of more comedy.
got it. That's I found more and more I like the lighthearted stuff, even if it's action and intense psychological thriller. You throw that little bit of comedy in, and it appeals to me much more.
Yeah, it does. It does. Um, you know, yeah.
Okay, so before we get going here today, do you have any advice for other new authors, people who are just starting out, maybe struggling to get their first book out?
What I can say to you guys is, just stay focused and don't worry about who likes your book. Well, you can kind of worry about who likes your book, but when you write your book, make sure you're writing that fits you. Not nobody else, because it's your book. So being your book is you're telling the story. You're the one that has the details, and you have to make sure that your book is focus on what you want to be focused on. It's going to be a lot of no's. The people who's not going to like everything that you write, but that's okay because that's your first book. And then your second book, you learn from your first book and it gets better every time you write. So if you're a success, the first one, awesome. If you're not, don't worry about it. Just do the second book and make it even better and take the negativity that you got and put into your second book and it will be so much amazing.
Nice. Yeah, put that negativity into the character that everybody loves to hate.
Yeah, exactly. Because I sure did. Because everybody definitely hate Frank. Okay, so
I want to read the book now just so I can grumble at Frank.
I know, right? You'd be like, "Oh, that Frank! I can't believe you
Yeah.
did this."
All right. Well, Carmel, it was really great talking to you today. I had a fun time. Your book sounds great. I wish you luck on it in the future.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate you. And thank you for taking time out to interview me. And you've been such a great host.
It was really fun. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for listening to Discovered Wordsmiths. Come back next week and listen to another author discuss the road they've traveled, and maybe, sometime in the near future, it might be you.